What's good, people? I know it's been a long time since I've done a car video, but I'm doing one today. What better day to do one? Man, this is crazy. And shout out to my man Jeff Christopher on YouTube. He wanted me to do a video in the car like old times. I'm doing it now, buddies. And definitely shout out to my man Gonzo in the trading room for dropping this article. His was, I think, from the Wall Street Journal, but I grabbed it from CoinDesk. But again, thanks for bringing that to our attention, because we didn't really know why the markets were dropping initially. Earlier today, maybe about an hour and a half ago, noticed that the market was dropping. Didn't know really why. And it looks like, man, we have some breaking news regarding Tether. And I always said, you know, the rumors that were swirling about Tether all last year, and actually Bitfinex as well, the last 2 years, there's been a lot of rumors, but nothing substantial, nothing materially brought forth about the allegation. And I said then, hey, you know, if things change, if evidence comes out, then that's when I'll change my opinion about what's going on. And so we've got a new late-breaking article that just came out. This is from CoinDesk, so I'm going to read this from CoinDesk for you guys, and we'll talk about it here. But it says here, Bitfinex covered $850 million loss using Tether funds, NY prosecutors allege. So it looks like NYC, of all places, of course, are going after Bitfinex for fraud, it looks like. So it's saying here, guys, this is crazy. The New York State Attorney General's office has alleged that the crypto exchange Bitfinex lost $850 million and subsequently used funds from affiliated stablecoin operator Tether to secretly cover the shortfall. It's crazy. According to the press release issued today, NYAG Leetta James announced that she had obtained a court order against Bitfinex Inc., which operates both Bitfinex and Tether, ordering them to cease violating New York law and defrauding New York residents. Oh, like Wall Street does, right? James said that an investigation by her department determined that Bitfinex engaged in a cover-up to hide the apparent loss of $850 million of commingled client and corporate funds. And it says, adding that New York State has led the way in requiring virtual currency businesses to operate according to the law and will continue to stand up for investors to seek justice on their behalf when misled or cheated by any of these companies. It says, according to the statement, Bitfinex sent $850 million worth of customer and corporate funds to Crypto Capital Corp, a payment processor that is said to be holding funds from other exchanges as well, such as listen to this, Quadrica CX. Wow. From Tether's reserves were used to make up the shortfall, but neither the loss nor Tether's fund movements were disclosed to customers. So it goes on to say here that $700 million is alleged to have been transferred, according to the filing attributed to Assistant Attorney General Brian Whitehurst. The probe began sometime in 2018 and appeared to have been driven because, despite claims to the contrary, OAG has reason to believe that Bitfinex still allows New York-based individual investors to deposit, trade, and withdraw virtual currencies and engage in other transactions on the Bitfinex trading platform. So I don't know if you guys remember, it was either in 2017, late 17, I think it was late 17, mid 17, Bitfinex stopped allowing U.S. citizens to actually trade. But this is interesting to see. Under the court order, Bitfinex directors, officers, principals, agents, employees, contractors, assignees, or any other affiliated individuals are to cease accessing, loaning, or making any other claim to the dollar reserves held by Tether. Similarly, Bitfinex affiliated individuals are ordered to not tamper with any documentation, including records, which outline these actions. The action comes months after AG's office published the results of its crypto exchange inquiry, focusing on a group that included Bitfinex. The focus on Tether reserves is a notable one, given the long scrutiny directed toward the firm and its USDT stablecoin. Critics allege that the token, with its more than $2 billion market cap, was not actually backed by sufficient funds as claimed by operators. Failure to obtain a proper audit, as previously pledged, further inflamed those suspicions. And in March, Tether revealed that the reserves backing the USDT may not be entirely composed of fiat currencies. So this kind of just goes on about the Attorney General documenting all the months of turbulence leading up to this situation. It says here, and let's see, the affirmation details Bitfinex growing banking issues and its efforts to maintain services in some form, including a now-ended relationship with Puerto Rico-based company called Noble Bank that ended in October of 2019. Bitfinex and Tethers ended their relationship with Noble Bank because of its inability to process a high volume of wire transfers as well as low interest rates, the company's lawyers told the Attorney General office. Tether later struck up a banking relationship with Deltic in the Bahamas. It says here, according to the Attorney General's office, the inability to access the $850 million in customer corporate funds, which was blamed on payment processor Crypto Capital, according to the documents, impaired Bitfinex's ability to process withdrawal requests. CoinDesk previously detailed these problems, with some customers complaining of long response times and delayed receipt of their money. So continuing on with this article, it says that representatives from Bitfinex and Tether told the Attorney General's office that a Bitfinex official was told the reason the $851 million couldn't be accessed was because of Portuguese, Polish, and American government officials that had seized the funds. But Bitfinex, according to the document, didn't believe this explanation. Based on statements made by counsel for respondents to the Attorney General's office, respondents do not believe that Crypto Capital's representation that the funds have been seized. As noted by the AG's press release, the inability to access these funds was kept from customers, and today's news represents the first time the loss was disclosed publicly. So what the Attorney General office in New York is going after them for is not disclosing the $850 million loss, it looks like. I don't know if it was a loss or their inability to actually access the funds, and Bitfinex lied to the public about that. As described by the council, Bitfinex would take a line of credit of $600 to $700 million on the reserve funds backing Tethers. It says here, on March 4th of 2019, counsel for Bitfinex and Tether responded to OAG's letter with an email stating, "It is impossible to get this information by March 1st. Council did not approve an alternative production date to OAG." And then it goes on to say, on March 29th, after further discussions, the representatives disclosed in a letter to the Attorney General that the credit line had been closed, and during November of 2018, Tether transferred $625 million held in its account at Deltic to Bitfinex's account at Deltic. Bitfinex in turn caused a total of $625 million to be transferred to Bitfinex's account at Crypto Capital to Tether's account at Crypto Capital, and then through a ledger entry at Crypto Capital crediting Tether's account in the amount of $625 million, and then debiting Bitfinex's account by a corresponding amount. It says here, the purpose of this exchange was to allow Bitfinex to address liquidity issues unrelated to Tether. Wow. Subsequently, an arrangement was struck to create $900 million line of credit with a 3-year term and an interest rate of 6.5%. That transaction closed on or about March 19th of 2019. The total assessed under the loan facility as of today's date is equal to roughly $700 million. And then it goes on to say, on March 27th, 2019, Bitfinex and Tether initiated a transaction debiting $625 million previously credited to Tether's account at Crypto Capital and transferring those funds to Bitfinex's account. According to the affirmation, this credit line, in addition to the $850 million loss, was not disclosed to investors. Respondents have only produced limited relevant information regarding the facts and circumstances of the $625 million transferred and then subsequent line of credit transactions, it states. So below is like the Supreme Court of the state of New York, county of New York versus, looks like Bitfinex. There's some documentation there, but man, this is I still don't know what this means. Like, I mean, it definitely could have a negative impact on the crypto markets short term, but I don't see it being a long-term issue. There may be some illiquidity going on, people panicking, of course, right now, but long term, I don't know. I don't see it being a big issue. You guys let me know what are your thoughts about this. So my thing is, now it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy as far as them not being able to make up that shortfall. I'm wondering how did they lose 850 million? That's the first thing. Secondly, these exchanges make so much money, they could probably make that back in 2 years, minimum 2 years. They should be able to make that back in fees. However, since people know that Bitfinex is in trouble, they may stop using Bitfinex. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy there. I don't know, man. What do you guys think about this? Like I said, I said from the get-go, I didn't think that Bitfinex was in trouble until evidence is shown to me that they actually are, not just rumors. And so this is evidence that they had a $850 million shortfall and had, looks like, drawn a line of credit of roughly 600 to 700 million. And I don't know, man. I don't know where they stand now. The government definitely wouldn't be apprehensive about doing something like this to really put a damper on the crypto markets. So we'll see how this pans out. I just wanted to do a quick video and go over that. I'll leave a link to this article from CoinDesk in the description of this video. I'm just gonna sit back and see what happens. Eat my waffle wafers or whatever you want to call them. These things are so good. I've been eating these like crazy lately. Check those out. I've been eating those like crazy. But we'll see what happens. Markets definitely took a dump on that news. Looks like it's kind of holding at current levels, but I still think 3,000 is the low. I'm sticking to it. We'll see what happens from here, people. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out of here. Holla. Boom.
Trying to put the water on my potato.